there is a connection, therefore, between this being the lucky country and Anzac?
Definitely. Definitely. If it wasn't for all those young 17 and 6-year-old, teenagers, I call them teenagers, young men who went out there and fought for our country, and many of them gave their lives. I mean, look, you have to be honest, these days, how many 16, 17-year-olds will go and give their lives? It just shows that if we're not careful, Australia could lose a lot of what has been fought for originally. So what we have today is probably the culmination right now in the success that we have as a nation. It's because of those great men.
It means a lot, especially now that I have a little daughter too, and she's got a father that's South American background. I'm Croatian, but we're both Australians and raised here, and she's going to be brought up as an Australian, and just passing on that heritage to her and what it means to her, and just implementing that in her life, and what it all means, and why our parents came out here as well, and just through the education of the schools. And I actually went to where the shrine was a couple of years ago, and just looking around just to find out for myself more what it means, and just reading all the stories I had about grandparents and the people that were involved, and just touched my heart, because I'd never had grandparents, and but you could experience what the legacy means and how it impacted the Australian culture and the generation that is here today. And it's awesome to see the parades and even little kids coming out and just being part of it, and so that you see the legacy just keeping on from generation to generation.
As I began researching the First World War in Gallipoli, I was often confronted with the word legend, the Anzac legend, and I didn't like it. To me, a legend is something like a mythology, a story that isn't necessarily true. Yet Anzac was true, Gallipoli was true, it was only 90 years ago. But as I went on the journey of this program, I've discovered that the line between truth and myth can often be quite thin. You see, at the outset, many people actually believed that Gallipoli was a victorious battle, not the horrible defeat that it really was. And while there's reverence and irreverence and passion and patriotism, this, without good understanding, could really become just another belief in a myth rather than a celebration of the truth. So while Gallipoli was the birthplace, if you like, of the Anzac spirit, its childhood, growth and maturity has seen many more lives lost in a lot of different countries and wars since then. In fact, even in the First World War, the Aussies went on into the Middle East and France and saw amazing victories after the defeat of Gallipoli. And we're still celebrated in those countries for the victories that we won. I think there's a few more docos for Tex to do about that. So in conclusion, like all things that Australian people hold dear, one thing is so important, that we might all have different opinions, yet we still remain mates. And that is the benchmark to the future success of our great country. I'm Tex Houston, and thanks for sharing Anzac then, now and forever with me.